They don't have the immediacy. They don't have family members who were killed by Nazis necessarily, right? They don't have the state of Israel and growing up and having relatives there and all that. They're not up on these things, right? Yeah. And they grew up with this doctrine that talks about turning the other cheek. Yeah. And loving Christianity is like the religion of love. Love your fellow, not Jew, love your fellow Christian or whatever.
Love your fellow man.
Love your fellow man and turn the other cheek, never seek revenge and appease. And that was the attitude that they had in Europe, and they just wanted to appease Hitler. And that's a European weakling attitude. But I understand how liberal Christians who became liberal, secularized, people who grew up in Christian homes with a Christian education and rebelled against it and became liberal, or were liberal, or whatever, how do you want to explain it, became secular, I can give them, I understand why they end up that way.
Right.
But I would say to them, you know what? And I have a lot of friends who fit that description.
Right.
You gotta wake up. This doesn't work. Kissing your enemy's ass doesn't make him hate you any less. And it doesn't slow down his resolve to kill you. There are enough dead Jews in the last 100 years to prove that fact.
Think we should start restricting immigration from Muslims? Like, would you like more Muslims in America?
Would I like more Muslims in America?
Yeah, Muslims in America. Let's have more.
I don't know how to answer that one. You're going to get into some constitutional problems.
Right.
But I saw an interesting thing that Ann Coulter said.
Yeah.
Okay? And she doesn't always say interesting things. Yeah. But this was interesting. I saw a speech from her that was put on the internet. And I just saw this the other day. It wasn't. Maybe it was yesterday. And she said, it's not racial profiling when the profile you're talking about does it 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That's called identifying a suspect. That's giving the identity of a suspect. She talked about how all of the airlines that have been hijacked,
they're being hijacked by Muslims.
By Muslims.
The last 40 years.
Ever since when I was a kid, it used to be real in style for any guy who was a fugitive from the law. He would hijack a plane and go to Cuba.
Yeah.
That stopped. I'm not sure why. When I was a kid, that was really big.
Yeah.
But she's right. Every single plane that has been hijacked or bombed in midair in the last 25 years has been somebody who did it in the name of Allah, or just somebody who was a Muslim. It bothers the sensitivities of the liberals to say, oh, we're going to look, I say this. When the TSA is searching my bags, which they did, they took me aside, and they searched me down, boop, 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 when I flew last month. I said, what a waste of time. That is a waste of government money. That's a waste of taxpayers' money. The only people they need to look at are people who are Muslim. I am a Jew, right? I'm not a Muslim.
Yeah.
There's some people you don't know if they're Muslims or not, right?
Yeah.
But me, come on.
Yeah.
Do I look Muslim?
No.
Come on. All right, so that's what I have to say about that. I don't know if we should curtail how many enter the country.
Right.
Right? But we definitely need to be able to say out loud in this country, right?
Right.
That they are the people you need to worry about on an airplane, and not be afraid to say it because of what the liberal media or the liberal political correctness police are going to think, because I actually said out loud that our enemy follows Islam.
So do you think Jews owe an apology to the world this Rosh Hashanah?
Oh my God, that was the most pathetic thing.
Like for agro-processors, do you think?
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I saw that you wrote that you posted that thing from that guy, from that. Just tell him that
he's an Orthodox rabbi, by the way, folks.
Okay, cool. Now my game is on.
Rabbi Shmuley Yanklowitz. He's the founder of Uri El Tzedek, and they give like ethics certification to restaurants, and if they're like treating their workers right and obeying all the laws, and so it's not just like kashrut certification on the actual food, but now there's ethics certification, which many of the modern Orthodox rabbis copied here in Pico Robertson. I don't know if any businesses actually came out and used this ethics certification, but according to Rabbi Shmuley Yanklowitz, first, we Jews as a people owe an apology to all those who have suffered from our most recent scandals involving billions of philanthropic dollars. It has been shown that Jewish non-profits far behind non-Jewish non-profits in public transparency, making it possible for a Ponzi scheme to emerge from within our midst. Do we as Jews owe the world an apology for Bernie Madoff?
Bernie Madoff, is that what he was talking about? Because he
Yeah.
didn't spell him out, did he?
Yeah,
He did?
the Ponzi scheme.
Did he actually? Can you point
He
to where
didn't. He didn't say Bernie Madoff, but that's what he's talking about.
Bernie Madoff wasn't a non-profit. Bernie Madoff
But
was...
non-profits invested with Bernie Madoff. But Bernie Madoff had a big Ponzi scheme. Bernie Madoff was a Jew.
Yeah.
Should Jews around the world apologize to the Goyim, like a Jewish apology for Bernie Madoff?
Oh my God. It goes from the most bizarre to the most bizarre. You know, just when you think that something isn't bizarre enough, you know what? I started reading that article, and I saw Darfur pop up, and I just like fell. I felt.
Do Jews owe an apology to the world because we haven't done enough
For Darfur?
For Darfur.
Let me just say these words. Whenever I see something, a Jew talking about Darfur, I just tune out. Because that just puts the person that I see them, and I put their whole thing in a box of very confused. Very confused. It's the way of people, Jews who have lost their way, and they're no longer following authentic Torah Judaism, at least not in the values of it, are going to latch on to things that have nothing to do with Judaism.
Right.
And that's going to be their new religion. It's the religion of liberal secularism, or secular liberalism. And Darfur, it becomes this huge mitzvah for them. My personal belief, Jewish money should never go to Darfur. Well, that's a hard line, but because right here in L.A. we have people who are Jews who are piss poor, including myself, right? How can any Jew give to Darfur when I am in danger of being on the street next week? I don't get it. The last thing we should be doing is giving to that place. Not that there's anything wrong with Darfur, but it's not our business. Our business is to take care of Jews first. Ani ve'ircha. If you've got a poor Jew in your community, that is your responsibility. Nowhere in the Torah does it talk about giving money to non-Jewish people who are poor on the other end of the globe. That is not our business. Our business is take care of your own first, your family and the Jews and the people in your community. That is a Jewish thing. Okay? You asked me. So whenever I read somebody, I don't care if they call themselves a rabbi or whatever. Whenever I read somebody and they're talking about Darfur, I tune them out because this is a person who's not preaching Judaism. This is a person who's preaching secularism. And when a Jew leaves Judaism and gets involved in secularism, the big mitzvah to give money becomes Darfur and to give it to Pakistan. I mean, it's just crazy, right?
Okay.
Now, wait. But you asked. Let me get to the next part. You asked, do Jews do enough? I think we've done way too much. I read that 24 separate groups, if I remember correctly, it was 24 separate Jewish groups have given money, tremendous amounts of money, to Darfur.
Yeah.
Okay? Israel has by far given the most money per capita of any country on the planet to Darfur. America is right behind it, but the most of the money has come from Jews. We are less than 1% of the world's population, and we have given the most money into Darfur. The Darfur people know this, that the money that's coming to them is Jewish money. it upsets me to no end that the money's going there and it's not going to